Yoga has invaded the Philippines in recent years, and now there's a yoga group that is not only, or rather, that not only helps our mental and physical health, but the environment as well. Now, I'm interested to hear about this. Joining us in the studio to tell us more about Urban Ashram Manila are its teachers and directors, Lassie Holapainen, Maricar Holapainen, and Mark Macaday. Good morning, everybody. Namaste. Am I doing that right?
Good morning.
All right. Tell us about it. This sounds like a great development in the field.
Yeah, sure. Well, Urban Ashram right now is we just launched 10 days ago. So it's called the Urban Ashram Manila. It is the biggest yoga studio in the country, but I think we like to think of it more as really a place where we can actually develop the study of yoga and develop our own personal practices.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yoga has become extremely popular over the past years, but I mean, just to refresh everybody's memory, I mean, the practice of yoga, I mean, is it a sport? Is it meditation? Is it exercise? Is it a bit of everything?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's a very powerful exercise, in the asana yoga, the one we know. That's very popular now with the poses and everything. And yet, it's a bit more than that. No? It's a very ancient spiritual practice. It's a philosophy, but it goes beyond just the physical. As you start practicing your yoga, it starts becoming a lifestyle change, and it really affects the way you live your life, and pretty much everything about you becomes pervasive.
Right. I mean, everybody sort of gets interested and gets involved in their practice for whatever reasons. I'm just curious why you guys got started. What is it about yoga that drew you in and has made you as involved as you are?
You know, personally, I started practicing yoga when I was waiting for the results of the bar. It was just a really stressful time, and the yoga just helped work off all the nervous energy that I had. And I've been practicing ever since.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something that we were talking about earlier, where, you know, managing stress, the type of lifestyles that we have today, there are all kinds of stresses that we face. I mean, whether it's in the workplace, people are generally more active today, but even that aspect of their person needs to be balanced. Is that something that yoga can help you with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people that have come to the studio at the ashram are absolutely beginners, have come there to find some time for themselves.
Right.
So when you find that at the end of the practice, not only is it a workout, they actually find more energy and a little bit more clarity in their lives. So they come out with a fresher perspective towards life, and you know, with a newer, heightened spirit towards their activities. Yeah.
All right, Lassie, sell me on yoga.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think everyone already knows what yoga does for you. Physically, you get increased cardiovascular benefits. You get greater strength, greater flexibility. When I started yoga, I could barely go past my knees when bending forward. Especially guys, we're very tight. And yet, you know, the freedom of movement you get from a constant practice. That's I used to work a lot on a desk, and after whatever you do every day takes its toll on your body. And one day I couldn't get out of bed because my back just gave. I mean, literally it just froze up. And I was in Cebu, and I was telling Car, you know, I can't get out of bed. I was like, okay, what did you do last night? Right? But you're like, okay, I get to the airport, and literally I'm wheeled in there, and at that stage I think to myself, what can I do? Because I'm in physical therapy, all of that stuff, but it's gonna come back. And yoga came up, and you know, 4 or 5 years later, you're pain-free, and you can't even remember what that felt like. So that's what I think yoga gives. I mean, if only initially it gives you a physical thing, it leads you into all of the potential that your body has, but perhaps more importantly, you start realizing the potential that your mind has, and perhaps you yourself as a person. And I think that's why it's the most powerful. It's great if you're into any sport. I personally like longboard skateboarding. As you get older, you should avoid doing things like that. But yoga allows me to. So I really think that whatever it is you're into, yoga will allow you to do that better. It's the for me. Right now. It's the foundation for all my other physical exercise.
Right. I'm active myself, but over the years, there have been quite a number of aches and pains that have developed, much like yourself. Is it fair to look at yoga as a great way to manage those injuries and manage sports-related aches and pains?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Mark can talk a little bit more about the people who come, but I mean, so far we've seen that a not great majority, but a good part of the people come because they're injured.
Yeah.
They say, I've got my arm hurts, my knee hurts, my back hurts.
Yeah.
And slowly, and then they come and then they get the relief. But that's the thing, then it becomes a lifestyle afterwards.
Right.
As long as the injury is already healed, in other words, it's no longer swollen, then you can start bringing that to yoga. And yoga, in many ways will start helping the healing process. No? So you get back to 100%.
Excellent. All right. Now, Urban Ashram, like you said, is a very new gathering place of people, of like-minded people, and it's one of the biggest, or in fact the biggest, that we have here. Tell us about the facility.
Well, we believe we're the first studio to build the studio from ground up. I mean, we had an idea of what the ashram should be. We've been practicing together for some time, and we had an idea of how to bring everything together. So it's a place where you can actually learn. Every opportunity to learn about yoga is there. We invested quite a lot in the studio in terms of the quality and being environmental friendly. So we have a studio that can accommodate up to 60 to 70 people.
Okay.
But then it can be also very intimate because you can actually divide the studio into 3. We've got sprung floors, and they're engineered wood. We've got natural ventilation and proper lighting, natural lighting. So it's really a beautiful studio. I mean, if we must say so here ourselves.
It sounds like such an ideal place to practice.
It makes such a huge difference to be able to practice in an uplifting space.
Sure. Yeah. I like the fact that there's an environmental angle to this. And I mean, if you look far enough at the bigger picture, I mean, there really is this interconnection, and yoga will show you that. But I like the way you're bringing that to the fore, the fact that there's an environmental angle to the ashram.
Yeah, I think we're all very conscious as to how we intend to run the studio. A lot of the materials we've chosen and a lot of the practices that we have, for instance, we encourage a lot of people to bring their own towels and their own water bottles to avoid reusing our plastic cups. At the same time, we use biodegradable and earth-friendly materials. Our cleaning materials are all earth-friendly. And the studio itself, by itself, just the natural ventilation, the green. We're the first and only Philippine studio that's been accredited by the Green Yoga Association. So, yeah, we try to do that as much as we reasonably can, and trying to keep, the costs also very effective.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Now, generally, the stereotype is yoga is sort of slow and sleepy.
Yeah.
But we want to break out from that mold, don't we? We want to help people understand that there are many paths.
Sure. Types of yoga,
and many approaches, and some of the things that you guys are offering are excellent.
Yes, we practice Vinyasa Flow Yoga, which is very dynamic. It builds a lot of upper body strength, so it's a good program for men actually to practice. Where part of our promotions, our events for the next few months, is that we're bringing in a senior yoga teacher. His name is David Kim, and he's worked with professional and Olympic athletes.
Okay.
So we're coming up with several workshops.
Okay, I think this is over here, the master class and workshop series.
Master class and workshop series.
Going. Okay.
And David Kim will actually be helping the athletic and athletes perform better in their sport.
Okay, that's just one of the many other workshops that you have planned out.
Yes.
I mean, you've got Ignite Your Core, Lift Off, Defy Gravity, so many other things that you guys are going to be offering.
Yeah.
Definitely, and we're also bringing in a few other teachers. Joan Hyman is another world-class teacher based in LA.
All right.
She'll be coming in February 2012 for a series of workshops. She'll teach practitioners how to just break asanas, the poses, into component parts, and to be able to practice safely. And for our centerpiece in March 2012, we're actually very proud to announce that we'll be having our own teacher training program. So for practitioners who are interested in just deepening their practice or maybe considering a career in teaching yoga, we're bringing in James Brown and Sonia Cottle. They're very well-established teachers in Los Angeles, and they have a great celebrity following. They're very personable, and they're great teachers.
All right, so I'm sure if people who are already into yoga or who want to be teachers or accredited, they're just, you know, jumping up and down because this is probably very, very exciting news for them. It's a pretty big deal, right?
Yes.
We're
Especially
very
these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they're top notch, and I think the main thing for us is that if you look at the benefits of yoga, the things that it can do to change your life, the main thing is that there are not that many teachers available. Everyone talks about it, and yet it's very difficult to get that. No? And through this teacher training, we're really hoping that a lot of Filipinos will become very, very good, and well, a lot of locals will become very good teachers and world-class teachers. No?
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk specifics here. Where are we going to find the ashram? Is it expensive? How can people take part?
Well, Urban Ashram is in Capitolio, Pasig. It's actually not that far from Makati or from Quezon City.
Right, it's
People
right in
think
the
it's
middle of
far.
things.
Central.
It's really central. You
Don't
get to-
stress yourselves out about location. I mean, it's pretty central.
It's perfect. It's actually 15 minutes from Makati. So we're in Capitolio, which is across Pioneer Center. So if you're familiar with Pioneer, and it's close to the Ortigas CBD, 10 minutes from the Ortigas CBD. All the directions, how to take public transport, how to take it by cars, is really detailed on the website. So that's urbanashrammanila.com. And then on our Facebook, which is Urban Ashram Manila, we give regular updates as to our promotions and our schedule. The studio is, we've got great parking, street parking. So yeah, if they can just come over, we've got free classes up to September 3. That's this Saturday.
That's definitely something people should be taking advantage of right there.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have another 15 free classes until
Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday.
How large is a typical class? I mean, does it get full? I mean, you guys,
Lately
you
it's-
gotta be quick.
I have to say, free yoga's been very popular. Register online ahead of time so that you can reserve.
Okay,
We have a reservation system. If you, some people come and they just try to get a slot at the end, but we've had our maximum class. We've had about 45 people in one class, 50 people.
Yeah, it's been overwhelming. I mean, the
it's been
response
great.
has been
I
great.
mean, it's just.
And I think part of the message we wanted to come across is that yoga is for everybody. So we've had a lot of people from different ages and different backgrounds come to the studio, and mostly first-timers, which is fantastic. And that's exactly what we want to do, is bring yoga to as many people as possible.
Super. All right. So if you missed any of the details, I'm sure you can catch it on the website.
Yeah.
urbanashrammanila.com.
urbanashrammanila.com.
urbanashrammanila.com. All right. Good stuff. Thank you so much for sharing what you have
Thank
with
you.
us. It's exciting news.
Yes.
Well, you should come and work on. I mean, catch a couple of classes.
Absolutely. I've got some aches and pains that I need to work out. Save me a slot at the ashram. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.